A hotel room in Las Vegas costs casinos about $80 per night to operate. They'll give it to you for free. They'll throw in free buffet worth $50. Free drinks all night. Free show tickets worth $200. They'll even send a private limo to pick you up from the airport. And after giving you over $1,000 worth of free stuff, they'll still make an average of $4,000 off you before you leave. This is the story of how casinos turned generosity into the most profitable business model ever created. Every year, Las Vegas casinos give away over $3 billion worth of free stuff. Free rooms, free food, free drinks, free entertainment. It's called comps, short for complimentary. And it's not just high rollers getting this treatment. Regular people, tourists, retirees, they all get free stuff. But here's the thing, casinos aren't charities. They are some of the most profitable businesses on earth. MGM Resorts made $15 billion in revenue last year. Caesars Entertainment, $11 billion. So how can they afford to give away billions and still make a fortune? The answer is a masterclass in psychology, mathematics, and manipulation. Let's break it down. First, you need to understand one fundamental truth. The house always wins. Not sometimes. Always. But it's not magic. It's math. Pure, simple, unbreakable mathematics. Take roulette. You've got 38 numbers on an American roulette wheel, numbers 1 through 36, plus 0 and 00. When you bet on a single number, the casino pays you 35 to 1 if you win. Sounds fair, right? Wrong. There are 38 possible outcomes, but they only pay you like there are 36. That difference, those two extra spots, the 0 and 00, that's the house edge. It's 5.26%. What does that mean in real terms? For every $100 you bet on roulette, the casino mathematically expects to keep $5.26. Not from you specifically, maybe you get lucky. But across thousands of spins, across thousands of players, that 5.26% becomes as reliable as gravity. Blackjack. Even if you play perfectly with basic strategy, the house edge is about 0.5%. Slot machines. Between 2% and 15%, depending on the machine. Craps. Depends on the bet, but the house always has an edge. Here's the beautiful part from the casino's perspective. You don't need to win every hand, every spin, every roll. You just need that mathematical edge, and then you need people to keep playing. Time is the casino's best friend. The longer you play, the more that house edge grinds you down. It's like erosion. One wave doesn't move the mountain, but a million waves. The mountain disappears. And this is why casinos can afford to give you free stuff. They've done the math. They know exactly how much you're likely to lose. That free $100 room. If they can keep you gambling for 6 hours, the math says they'll make $400 off you. That's a 300% return on investment. But the real genius isn't in the math. The math is just the foundation. The real genius is in the psychology. Walk into any major casino and look up. You won't find a clock. Look for a window. Good luck finding one. This isn't an accident. It's warfare. Psychological warfare designed to separate you from your money as efficiently as possible. Casinos spend millions on what's called environmental design, creating a space that makes you lose track of time, lose track of money, and lose track of reality. Let's start with the basics. No clocks, no windows. Why? Because if you don't know what time it is, you can't make rational decisions about when to leave. Is it 2 p.m. or 2 a.m.? Who knows? Just one more hand. The lighting is controlled to perfection. Not too bright. That would be energizing and might snap you out of your trance. Not too dark. That would make you sleepy. It's this perfect, soft, timeless glow that could be noon or midnight. The temperature is always exactly 68 to 72 degrees. Comfortable enough that you don't think about being uncomfortable, but cool enough to keep you alert and awake. You could spend 12 hours there and never think, it's getting stuffy, I should leave. The carpet. Those wild, colorful, seemingly random patterns. They are designed to hide stains. Yes, but more importantly, they are designed to be visually busy, so you look up at the games instead of down at the floor. And the sounds. Oh man, the sounds are genius. You hear slot machines chiming, bells ringing, people celebrating wins. Constantly. It creates this auditory illusion that everyone around you is winning. You never hear the losses. Those are silent. But wins. They announce themselves. This is called losses disguised as wins. Modern slot machines are programmed to celebrate when you win even if you won less than you bet. You put in $5, you win $3, and the machine lights up like you hit the jackpot. Your brain gets that dopamine hit from winning even though you just lost $2. But here's where it gets really dark. The casino floor is a maze designed to trap you. Roger Thomas, the legendary casino designer, pioneered something called the playground design. The idea: make the casino floor feel like an exciting playground where around every corner there's something new and interesting. You want to go to the bathroom. You can't just walk straight there. You have to walk through rows of slot machines, past table games, past bars. Every path is designed to expose you to as many gambling opportunities as possible. You want to leave. Good luck finding the exit. They are hidden, poorly marked, and require you to walk through the entire casino floor. Steve Wynn, the casino mogul, once said, "The only way out is through." And then there's the oxygen myth. You've probably heard that casinos pump extra oxygen to keep you awake and gambling longer. That's actually not true. It would be a fire hazard and probably illegal. But the fact that people believe it shows how unnatural it feels to stay alert and energized for 8 hours straight in a casino. The truth is simpler: controlled temperature, strategic lighting, and the constant stimulation of the games themselves keep you going. Now we get to the free stuff. The comps. This is where the casino's strategy becomes diabolical. It starts when you walk in. You get a player's club card. Sign up is free, and they immediately give you something, maybe $20 in free play, maybe a free buffet. You haven't spent a dime and you're already getting rewarded. This is called the foot in the door technique. Once you accept that first gift, you're psychologically primed to reciprocate. You feel like you owe them something. But that card, it's not a gift. It's a tracking device. Every time you slide that card into a slot machine, the casino knows exactly what you're betting, how long you're playing, how much you're losing. Every hand of blackjack you play at a table with your card, they track it. They know your gambling patterns better than you do. And they use this data to calculate your theoretical loss. Let's say you're playing slots, betting $3 per spin, hitting the button 600 times per hour. That's $1,800 in total bets per hour. The house edge on that machine is 8%. Your theoretical loss is $144 per hour. If you gamble for 6 hours, your theoretical loss is $864. The casino knows this. They track it in real time. Now here's the magic. They can give you $300 worth of comps, a free room, a free meal, free show tickets, and they are still making $564 off you. But you don't feel like you lost $864. You feel like you got $300 in free stuff and only lost $564. You actually feel like you came out ahead. This is the genius of the comp system. It reframes your losses as wins. But it gets more sophisticated. Casinos use a tiered rewards system. Think silver, gold, platinum, diamond status. Each tier gets better perks. You start at silver with basic benefits. But you see people at the platinum tier getting escorted to private entrances, getting free suite upgrades, getting invited to exclusive events. And you think, I want that. So you gamble more to reach the next tier. And the casino has you exactly where they want you, chasing status in a system where the house always wins. The diamond level players, the real high rollers, they get everything for free. Penthouse suites, private jets, personal hosts, backstage passes to concerts, courtside Lakers tickets. One casino executive told a reporter they once flew a whale gambler's favorite sushi chef from Tokyo to Vegas just to make him dinner. Why? Because that guy was losing $2 million a year at their tables. Flying in a sushi chef costs $50,000. That's a 2.5% expense ratio. Great investment. But here's what most people don't realize. Even the high rollers are profitable. They might win big occasionally. You hear stories of someone winning $10 million. But over time, over hundreds of visits, the math always corrects. There's a famous story about Kerry Packer, an Australian billionaire who once won $40 million in Vegas over a weekend. Casinos were devastated, but they didn't ban him. They welcomed him back. Why? Because over his lifetime, Kerry Packer lost an estimated $28 million to casinos. That one $40 million win. Just a statistical anomaly in the long arc of the house edge. Let's talk about the free drinks, because this might be the most obviously manipulative tactic, and yet it works perfectly. In Vegas, if you're gambling, your drinks are free. Doesn't matter if you're betting $5 or $5,000. Cocktail waitresses in elaborate costumes walk around constantly, offering you anything you want. Beer, wine, cocktails, top-shelf liquor, all free. Why? Because alcohol impairs judgment. Studies show that drunk gamblers bet 20 to 50% more than sober gamblers. They take bigger risks. They chase losses more aggressively. They stay longer. They make emotional decisions instead of rational ones. A sober person might think, I'm down $200, I should stop. A drunk person thinks, I'm due for a big win, let me bet bigger to win it back faster. The casino knows this. That's why the drinks keep coming. But there's a subtle genius to how they do it. They don't give you drinks instantly. The cocktail waitress comes around every 15 to 20 minutes. Just slow enough that you're never too drunk to gamble, but fast enough that you maintain a steady buzz. They want you tipsy, not wasted. A sloppy drunk who passes out at the table isn't making the casino money. But someone who's had 4 to 5 drinks over 3 hours? Perfect. Lowered inhibitions, impaired judgment, but still functional. And here's the thing, you feel like you're getting a deal. I'm only gambling $100, but I've had $60 worth of free drinks. I'm basically ahead. No, you're not. That $60 in drinks cost the casino maybe $12. And your gambling behavior while drinking is making them hundreds. Some casinos have gotten even more strategic. They've noticed that certain drinks keep people gambling longer. High-sugar cocktails and energy drink mixes, Red Bull vodkas, for example, keep people energized and awake. You'll see casinos pushing these drinks specifically because they extend playing time. Here's something that will blow your mind. Casinos deliberately let some people win big. Strategically. Publicly. Because big winners are advertising. Think about it. When someone hits a massive jackpot on a slot machine, what happens? Lights flash. Alarms sound. Casino staff rush over. Other gamblers gather around. Photos are taken. That winner becomes a walking billboard for the casino. Everyone who sees that payout thinks, that could be me. Modern slot machines are networked. Casino operators can see which machines haven't paid out in a while. And while they can't rig individual spins, that would be illegal, they can choose which machines to promote, where to place the loosest slots, the ones with slightly better odds, and how to manage the gaming floor for maximum psychological impact. They put the loosest slots near entrances and walkways. Why? Because when people walking by see someone winning, they are more likely to stop and play. The tightest slots, the ones with the worst odds, are in the low-traffic areas where people are already committed to playing anyway. And jackpots. Those massive progressive jackpots that reach millions. They are incredibly smart business. Let's say a slot machine has a progressive jackpot that starts at $1 million. Every bet placed on that machine or any connected machine adds a tiny amount to the jackpot. Eventually, someone hits it and wins $5 million. That sounds like a massive loss for the casino, right? Wrong. That $5 million jackpot was funded by millions of losing bets. The casino didn't lose money. They just redistributed money from thousands of losers to one winner. And that one winner generates more publicity and brings in more players than any ad campaign could. There's a reason why casinos announce jackpot winners with press releases and photo ops. That winner becomes content that draws in the next wave of hopeful gamblers. But here's the really dark part. Most big winners end up losing it all back to the casino anyway. Studies of lottery winners and jackpot winners show that within 5 years, a significant percentage have gambled away their winnings. Why? Because the same behavior that led them to gamble until they won big doesn't magically change after they win. Casinos know this. They comp the hell out of big winners. Congratulations on your $2 million win. Here's a free suite for the week, unlimited drinks, show tickets, the works. They make winners feel like VIPs, which keeps them coming back. And slowly, surely, that $2 million gets redistributed back to the casino. There's a famous case of Elmer Sherwin, who won the megabucks jackpot in Vegas twice, once for $4.6 million, and 16 years later for $21 million. Amazing, right? He was one of the luckiest gamblers ever. But here's what people don't talk about. How much did Elmer spend gambling between those wins? How much of that first $4.6 million did he pour back into slot machines before hitting the second jackpot? The casino will never tell you that part of the story. Now let's talk about the real money, the whales. Whales are ultra-high net worth gamblers who bet millions. They are the 1% of the 1%, and they account for a disproportionate amount of casino revenue. Casinos will do literally anything to keep whales gambling. And I mean anything. One famous whale, Don Johnson, not the actor, negotiated a deal with Atlantic City casinos during the 2008 financial crisis when they were desperate for business. He got them to agree to a 20% loss rebate, meaning if he lost money, the casino would give him 20% back. That doesn't sound like much, but for a sophisticated gambler who understands the math, that rebate effectively eliminated the house edge on blackjack. Don Johnson went on to win $15 million from 3 different Atlantic City casinos using this deal. The casinos knew he had an edge, but they let him play anyway because they were desperate for the action. They hoped he'd get unlucky. He didn't. But for every Don Johnson, there are hundreds of whales who lose spectacularly. There's a Malaysian businessman named Tan Sri Lim Kok Thai who reportedly lost $2 billion, with a gambling over several years. Casinos rolled out the red carpet for him everywhere he went. The Australian billionaire James Packer once lost $30 million in one night at a Vegas casino. The casino's response: they upgraded his suite and sent him a gift basket. These players have personal hosts, casino employees whose only job is to cater to their every whim. They'll arrange anything: private jets, luxury cars, exclusive parties, meetings with celebrities, even companionship if that's what the whale wants. Why? Because a whale might lose $10 million in a weekend. That's more than 100 regular players lose in a year. But here's what's fascinating: even whales have comps calculated carefully. A whale betting $100,000 per hand at blackjack might play 50 hands per hour. That's $5 million in total bets per hour. With even a 0.5% house edge, the casino's expected win is $25,000 per hour. If that whale plays for 10 hours, the casino expects to make $250,000. So giving him a $50,000 suite for the weekend, $20,000 worth of meals and entertainment, and a $30,000 private jet. That's $100,000 in comps for an expected $250,000 profit. Still a $150,000 profit. Great deal for the casino. And the whale? He feels like a king. He got $100,000 worth of luxury treatment. He might have lost $300,000 gambling, but psychologically, it feels less painful because of all the VIP treatment. This is why casinos track average daily theoretical loss so carefully. They can calculate down to the dollar how much comp they can afford to give each player while still remaining profitable. But we need to talk about the elephant in the room: gambling addiction. Everything we've discussed, the comps, the psychology, the environmental design, it's all designed to keep you gambling. For most people, it's just entertainment. For some, it becomes a nightmare. An estimated 2 to 3% of the population has a gambling disorder. That might not sound like much, but that's 6 to 9 million people in the United States alone. And problem gambling costs the U.S. economy an estimated $7 billion annually in bankruptcy, crime, and lost productivity. Casinos know who the problem gamblers are. Their tracking systems can identify people who gamble compulsively, people who visit multiple times per week, who lose significant portions of their income, who chase losses desperately. And here's the uncomfortable truth: problem gamblers are profitable. A 2005 study found that problem gamblers account for about 30 to 60% of slot machine revenue in some jurisdictions. These aren't people gambling for fun. These are people who can't stop. Casinos will tell you they have responsible gambling programs. They offer self-exclusion lists where people can ban themselves from casinos. They train staff to identify problem gamblers. But here's the reality: those programs are minimal compliance efforts. A person on a self-exclusion list can still walk into most casinos without being stopped. The facial recognition technology exists to identify and stop them, but most casinos don't implement it rigorously. Why? Because those problem gamblers are too profitable. There are documented cases of casinos sending promotional offers to people on self-exclusion lists, offering them free rooms and free play to lure them back. When caught, they claim it was a database error. But it happens too often to be accidental. The comp system is particularly dangerous for problem gamblers. They rationalize their losses. I lost $5,000, but I got a free room and meals, so it's not that bad. But it is that bad. People have lost homes, retirement savings, marriages, and lives chasing comps and chasing losses. There's a lawsuit that was filed against Caesars a few years ago by a woman who claimed the casino deliberately got her drunk and encouraged her to gamble while intoxicated, knowing she had a gambling problem. She lost $2 million over 2 years. Caesars' defense: she was an adult making her own choices. They weren't responsible for her decisions. Legally, they were probably right. Morally, that's a different question. Now, here's where this all gets even more concerning: online gambling. For decades, gambling was contained. You had to physically go to a casino. That created natural barriers. You had to travel, find time, make a deliberate choice. Now, you can gamble from your couch at 3 a.m. in your pajamas. Online casinos and sports betting apps have exploded in the last 5 years. States are legalizing it because they want the tax revenue. And these apps are using every psychological trick that physical casinos perfected, but amplified. Push notifications. You have a free $50 bet waiting, sent directly to your phone while you're at work, at dinner, anywhere. Gamification, earning points, leveling up, daily challenges, streak bonuses. It's designed like a video game to keep you engaged constantly. And the data collection is insane. Online casinos know everything. They know when you're most likely to bet. They know which games you prefer. They know when you're on a losing streak. And they use AI to send you precisely targeted offers at precisely the right moment to keep you gambling. A physical casino might know your gambling patterns from your player's card, but they only see you when you visit. Online casinos see you 24/7. They can analyze your behavior in real time and adjust their tactics accordingly. Some experts believe online gambling will create a new wave of gambling addiction that makes the current problem look small. And the comps? They are all digital now. Free bets, bonus spins, cashback on losses. It's the same psychological manipulation, but delivered instantly through an app. So, why do casinos give away free rooms and still make a fortune? Because they've mastered something that most businesses only dream of: turning generosity into guaranteed profit through mathematics and psychology. The free room, the free drinks, the free shows, they are not gifts. They are investments. Calculated, data-driven investments with predictable returns. They know that if they give you $100 worth of comps, they'll make $400 from your gambling. The math is that simple and that reliable. But it only works because they've created an environment specifically designed to keep you gambling. An environment where time doesn't exist, where losses feel like wins, where free stuff makes you feel valued, and where the odds are always, mathematically, permanently in their favor. It's brilliant. It's profitable. And for most people, it's just entertainment. But for some, it's devastating. The question isn't whether casinos should be allowed to use these tactics. That's a legal and moral debate for society to have. The question is, now that you know how it works, will you still fall for it? Because that's the ultimate test. I just explained the entire system to you. I showed you every trick, every psychological manipulation, every mathematical advantage. And most of you'll still walk into a casino, take the free drinks, play the slots, and think, but maybe I'll be the lucky one. That's the real genius of the casino industry. Even when you know how the trick works, it still works. If this video changed how you see casinos, hit that like button and subscribe. We're breaking down the psychology and business models behind some of the world's most fascinating industries. Drop a comment. Have you ever gotten comped at a casino? Do you feel like you came out ahead? Let me know. And remember, the house always wins. Always. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and watch out for our next mind-blowing business story.